Escape from Tarkov is an extremely in-depth and complex looter shooter that is very difficult to get into. This is due to the sheer amount of information that one must take in to even understand how to shoot their weapon in a raid. On top of all of this, the game has no map, no help navigating the menus, no instructions, no tutorials, and doesn't give any help when a player is trying to extract from a raid. So good luck getting out the first time, because God, you're going to be lost. Now, all of these reasons might make you think to yourself, why in the world would you put yourself through this? Now, the answer to that question is I don't fucking know. That's why if this guide does help you out, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and follow me on Twitch, as I do stream almost every day on Twitch. But without further ado, let's hop right into it. But when you load into Escape from Tarkov for basically one of your first times ever, you're going to have a ton of different menus. And the first things first is you have Escape from Tarkov. You click this button and you're off to your Scav run or your PMC run. The one thing that I learned, because I was so confused between the differences, yet it's so simple. And basically the one thing that I did to remember how to act as a Scav is basically, if you see people that look like AI, if you see people that look under geared, I don't shoot them. I don't know how to tell the difference between me and PMCs. I usually think that PMCs, if they look geared, if they have a big bag, I'm shooting them. If they have small bags and they look like they got a hat or a beanie or something stupid on, I usually don't shoot them because they're probably a Scav. And you don't want to shoot other Scavs because you'll lose Scav karma, and then every time you go into a raid as a Scav, you will literally just get blasted, and you'll have a timer between Scav raids, and if you keep being a bad Scav, you will increase that time, so you might have to wait an hour compared to like 20 minutes if you're a good Scav. Now for PMC, this is literally just your character. This is who you are. This is your guy. You load him up with whatever gear you want, and you just kind of go crazy in raid. Now when we go to maps, there is a metric shit ton of maps, and when I saw this, I kind of shit my pants. I'll be honest. There were so many maps, I had no idea what was going on, but I'll teach you in a second how I basically learned half the maps already. And again, I'm only 100 hours in. I've learned almost half the maps, and trust me, that is very good for being this new at the game. But before we get into that, I just want to tell you guys how I learned what each item is in this game, because if you look at my stash, I have so many items, it is ungodly. I look at each thing and I just start having a literal heart attack, because I'm like, I don't know what this does, I don't know what this does, I don't know what this does, I don't know what this does. But what I did, and it is a painstaking process, but you have to understand, I just started right clicking, inspecting, and I just read what it was for, a 76254, and then it gives you a little description all the way at the bottom. I read a little bit of that, I read what it did, and then I went over here to maybe a med like a grizzly, one over here, I read what it did. It removes concussion, removes radiation, removes fracture, stops heavy bleed, stops light bleed, use time, HP resource. So basically I did this until my head fell off. Basically when I got a new item, I would read the description really quickly, just see if I got a quick understanding of it, and then I just moved on, because there's so many items in this game that it's gonna take a while to understand. Like half of these stims, I barely know what they do. Like this one stops bleeding. You over here, you have mule that you can carry a crap ton of stuff at a raid. You have morphine that removes pain. So there's a lot of different items in this game. And for me, what I did is I just inspected every item and just read a little bit if I got a new item. You can also double tap just to kind of see what they are, so you don't have to right click and then inspect. You can just double tap the items, which is super simple. But that's exactly what I did to just kind of get an overview of what each item in the game means. Now the next topic is pretty important, and this is how I learned ammo types. Now online there's a website that I'll show you, and this is the EFT ammo chart, and basically it shows you every ammo type in the game, and it's super simple to understand. I go to this chart, I look at the ammo that I have, and I look at two simple things, because I learned from someone that the damage is going to be the stuff that you actually shoot at stuff that isn't really armor protected, and then penetration value is going to be something that can really destroy someone's armor and kind of get in behind that really tanky gear. I look at my bullet, I see the very top right here, the HP is the worst bullet I can have, and the very bottom right here is the best. So I just look at the weapon I have, look what ammo I have available, try to get the bullet that I have that's the further down, so obviously it's going to be the best bullet. Then I just stick that in my gun and go into a raid. You're not going to want to use your really good ammo down here on like Scavs, so just make sure you have a mag with like one of the weaker bullets to kill Scavs, then you have a mag with one of the really tanky bullets like PS, BP, or MIA AP, and then you really use that on other PMCs. But this is how I learned. I'll link this chart down below. Help me out a lot. Whenever you have a bullet, just peek over, look at the chart, see where it is, see where it ranks, so you kind of just get a mental image of where all the bullets kind of tier on top of each other. And then also you have to make sure you don't put the wrong ammo in the wrong gun. So right here I have my OPSKS here. I'm going to double tap on that, and as you see it says 76239. It also says 76239 right here on the gun, so that also relates to the bullet type. So if I go right here and I right click the gun, I unload the magazine, and then I go here and I unload the ammo. ammo. As you can see, this is HP. And if we go back to the chart, and if we go to the 76239 section, I have HP. I have the worst bullet, so I'm probably going to use this bullet on scavs more than likely. And again, that's how you learn the bullets. Just unload mags, understand what you have, check the chart, and that's how I learned pretty quickly what bullet's pretty good. Now, the next thing I truly think everyone should learn, especially as a new player like myself, are the maps. Because obviously, if you're in a raid and you can't extract from that raid because you don't know where the freaking extracts are, you're screwed. So what I did is I started on one map. Like, I would go on Streets of Tarkov, and I would do two things. If I chose the map Streets of Tarkov is what I wanted to go on, I would go to this website, and this is a 3D map of Streets of Tarkov, and they have this for basically almost every map. And the reason I'm telling you to go on this map is because it's 3D, and it helps actually understand where you are in the map. Because a lot of the maps that are 2D, you don't really understand where you are because they're just little drawings, and sure, they're pretty easy to look at, but the 3D just helped me kind of visualize the buildings. Like, if I'm in the middle of the road and I go and I see like a burning car right here, I see a building that looks really weird, I'm like, okay, I'm right here. I can go to that extract, I can go down here to this extract. I would just really recommend you have this map on a second monitor, and then you can find some place to look at. Like, you find the construction yard, you look at the map, see where that is. Then I usually zoom in on that area, and I'm like, okay, if I make a left here, then I make a right, I can go into the Shek 15 building. Then if I go out behind that, I'll be in the alley, and then if I keep going up the alley, I can go to Scav checkpoint, and then I can go to basement of descent. And when I'm in a certain area like collapsed crane, I'll zoom in on the area, then I'll kind of read my route. So okay, I'm gonna make a right here, then a left, then a left, then a right all the way at the bottom, then another left, then I'm gonna go all the way right towards the train that's going underground, then my extract is right there. And I use this map literally every single raid because I still get a little bit lost, so it's good to just have this map on a second monitor, even pull it up on your phone, and it's a really good helper. Again, I'll link this down below as well. And also, since I have EOD, which is the best version of Tarkov, I think I can make more adjustments to the offline mode. I don't know if every version of the game has this. If you don't have it, I'm sorry. Basically, I'm about to go into a raid, and I enable practice mode for this raid, and what I can do is I can go to the game settings, and I can turn the A literally off, so there's no one but me on the map, and I can ready up for the raid, and I can basically go into Streets of Tarkov by myself, no threat of losing my gear, no threat of anything, and I can walk around, look at buildings, find my evacs, find all the extracts. So when I'm in an actual raid, I can kind of play more off of skill and not play off of me not being lost. So right here is a really good example of what I mean for the map to help you. So I'm gonna run on this road and kind of look for something that looks different. Now I'm gonna go right up this road. I see a couple buses in the road, I see a tractor, I see another bus, I see a tank over there, and right here I see this really weird building. So I'm gonna try to get in front of the building or to the side of it, just something that I can get a viewpoint and understand where I am on the map. So again, now I'm right in front of the really weird building. I'm gonna pull up my map, and right here on the map in the middle is the really weird building. So I'm literally right here looking at the building, and now I know if I go left, I'm gonna be at underpass. If I go to my right, I'm gonna be at the taxi vehicle extract, and if I go straight, I'm gonna be at the sewer river. So this is really good to kind of get a viewpoint, understand where you are in the map, and that's why the 3D map helps you, because on the other maps you won't see these weird shaped buildings. You won't see that. You'll just see the outline of the building. So use a 3D map, helps you out a lot. Run the map in offline mode, but you'll learn it faster than you would if you just keep playing raids on and on with no map in sight. Now that we know a couple different things about the maps, about ammos and stuff like that, we're gonna go over basically some of the main game mechanics that you're gonna be doing a lot, and that is healing. Healing in this game is one of the most intense processes, just because you literally have no idea what's going on half the time. Your screen's gonna be black, your character is gonna look like a potato top left. You're gonna have no clue what the hell is going on. But basically what I do is the first thing that we said, I double click on all of my healing. So this is a Sulua first aid kit, and if I go down here, it says it has 400 hit points of healing. Now, one thing about this, it does stop light bleeds and heavy bleeds, but when you make it so it stops the light bleed, it's gonna take 45 HP just for stopping that light bleed. And if you wanted to stop a heavy bleed, it's gonna do almost half, and it's gonna take away 175 HP from the Sulua. So if you have a heavy bleed and you use the Sulua, it's not gonna heal you, it's gonna stop that heavy bleed, and it's gonna be 175 HP down from your 400 total. And then after you stop that heavy bleed, then you can start healing. That's why you have to look at your best options for each scenario. So what I've been doing as a new player is I always bring a Sulua into raid. I bring a CMS kit up my butt. I also have a Grizzly up my butt. This Grizzly is not necessary, but I like to keep it in case it's a crazy raid and I somehow run out of heals. I don't want that to happen. Basically, my combo is going to be this Alec B and this Sulua. Basically, this Alec, what it does is it stops heavy bleeding, and this has 3 uses. So instead of taking away 175 HP on my Sulua, I just do a quick on my Alec B, and it stops my heavy bleeding. And then I can use my Salua. Even if I have to stop a light bleed, it's only 45 HP, so it's not that much. But this is the combo I use early game. And obviously there are more things you could use, like you have cheese right here. I call it cheese, but it's called an AI2. And if you just look at it, it basically just heals you. It doesn't stop a light bleed, doesn't stop a heavy bleed, because I don't see it down here. You don't see it down here. And it only has 100 HP. So again, it's not a great use. It's not a great source for healing your HP, but it's definitely a source. Then you have other things like the IFAK right here. This IFAK has 300 total hit points, and this can stop a heavy bleed and it stops a light bleed. But look at how much it costs to stop that heavy bleed. It costs 210 HP, because after you stop a heavy bleed with this thing, you only have 90 HP left of this thing, and then you still have to heal on top of that heavy bleed, and you're going to be completely out of meds very quickly. And then I move over to this AFAK, and this can stop a heavy bleed and it stops light bleeds, but it comes at less of a cost. If you stop a heavy bleed, it only costs 170 HP off of this, and a light bleed is 30 HP, and this has a 400 HP total value. You also should be looking at the use time. Like, this is a 3-second use time. The Salua has a 3-second use time. The Grizzly has a 5-second use time, and the cheese right here has a 2-second use time. So there's obviously positives and negatives to each thing you use. But if we go over to the car, I'll just show you something real quick. Like this right here, honestly, when I first started the game, I thought this looked sick. I'm like, this gotta be the best, but obviously it's not, because I didn't read in the beginning. This has a 3-second use time, 220 HP total on it, and it can only stop light bleeds. So if you have a heavy bleed and you only have this, you're basically screwed. So for the combo I've been using as a new player is Alec B and Salua. I feel like if I run out of my Alec B, I'll still have the Salua to stop my heavy bleeds, and if anything, I'll have a Grizzly at my ass. I do have EODs, so my ass is a little bit bigger. Pause. Basically, if you don't have EOD, just understand that you want something extra to heal yourself, or at least I do, because healing in this game is literally so important. If you can't heal, you are just dead. Now that we've talked about healing, we have to talk about the fractures and CMS kits and Serve 12 kits. That's why in my butt I have a CMS kit right here. When you get a limb that's completely blacked out, that means it's at 0 HP, and you can't just heal that automatically. You have to use a CMS kit or a Serve 12 kit. I'm not sure if there's any other types of kits, but this is what I use. Again, I'm still a new player, but I'm trying to show you guys exactly how I learned as much as I did in this little amount of time. Basically, when you have a limb that's blacked out, what you have to do first is stop the bleeding. If you have like a heavy bleed or a light bleed or something that's bleeding, you want to stop the bleeding first, because imagine I have a limb, right? My limb is blacked out, it's at 0, and I still have a heavy bleed going on. The CMS kit is going to bring my left arm back to 1 HP, and if I have a heavy bleed, it's just going to bleed back down to 0. So you want to stop the bleed, get the CMS kit, help your arm, make sure it's not blacked out, and then you can heal it. And that was incredibly confusing for me at the beginning, because there's obviously a certain order in which you should do stuff in this game. And so that's a process that I'm still learning as well, but together we can get through it. And again, if you guys want to see me play this game live, I do stream on Twitch almost every day. As a new player, we have some very chaotic moments, so you're not going to want to miss it. Trust me. Don't forget to hop over to the Twitch and drop a follow. Now that we've talked about healing, we have to talk about the tons of different stimulants and painkillers and all that stuff in this game, because god, that's so confusing. But we'll try to go through it very slowly on how I learned it. So again, I do my double tapping, click the Analgan, and I read what it does. This has 4 uses. I can use the Analgan 4 times, because it says 4 out of 4, so I can use it 4 times. And when I use it each time, it's going to take away 19 hydration. So we haven't talked about that yet, but basically you have a water and an energy bar, and it's going to go down when you're in raid, and when you're out of raid, it'll start going up again slowly. But basically every time you use an Analgan, it's going to take away 19 hydration, and this goes for basically everything you use. There's going to be a benefit and a negative, sometimes only positives, sometimes only negatives. Again, click anything you see. Like right here, I'm clicking this Augustin, and I see blue, which is good, then I see red, which is bad. So it says my metabolism decreases by 5, and it's a duration of 180 seconds. Then I go here to hydration recovery, and this will decrease by 1.4 with a delay of 170 seconds and a duration of 40 seconds. So this tells you everything you need to know. But if I do take this Augustin, it'll stop all of my bleeding. I can kind of fight without having to worry of dying with my blacked out limbs. And again, just click everything that you get. There's no harm in just clicking and learning, and also use them. Like I have a golden star because I get viewer kits, so I've gotten this golden star, and apparently it's really good, but I never understood why. And if I read it, I can use it 10 different times. It has a 7-second use time, and it does decrease a lot of my energy by 19, but it will remove pain for 350 seconds. In comparison to the Analgan, this only lasts 80 seconds, so that's almost a 5x multiplier. Then you have different stuff like Augmentin, you have ibuprofen, you have SJ 6, which will help you run for God knows how long. And there's so many different stims in this game that just double click them, read up on them, even use them just to understand what it does. Because trust me, learning this game is all about using things that you just don't know. So that's the biggest thing that I did, is when I'm struggling, I don't know what to do, I'm like, what does this heal? I just drag it over, see if it highlights. If it doesn't highlight, it doesn't work. I drag it over. If it doesn't highlight, it doesn't work. I drag it over. If it doesn't highlight, it doesn't work. So just try stuff. Don't be scared to try anything. Just go after it in this game, because in this game, you have to be able to try stuff or you are just going to be screwed. Now, we did talk on the food and water very briefly, but you do have a water bar and a food bar. And basically, there's food and water that you have to eat in this game. It's literally like your IRL, like you're a real person. So I have a can of specific sorry right here, and this is an energy source. So again, all items in this game basically give you a brief description. This will up my energy by 48 and lower my hydration by 2, and it has a 5-second use time. Then if I go over here to obviously water, plain as day, it says that the water bottle will give me plus 60 hydration, and it takes 3 seconds to use. I like to make the most out of everything I do. So if I go over here to my MRE, this will increase my energy by 70. So I'm not going to eat my MRE until I'm down to 30, because I don't want to be at like 70 energy and then I eat an MRE. There's really no point. Some items like the water bottle you can use and not use all of it. Like if I'm at 90 and I want to use 10, I can go here and choose. I can use 10 water. I drink 10 water, then I have 9 left in the bottle because it's already low at 19. So I just like to make sure that I bring a good amount of water and food sources into raid, because if you do lose all of your energy and your water, you will die slowly. And I have learned the hard way that you don't want that to happen. So just make sure you have something to eat, you have something to drink, pretend it's IRL. You're like, okay, if I don't go with 2 days without water, I'm pretty much screwed. And just think like this is literally your real life. It's like, okay, I'm gonna be hungry in an hour, I'm gonna be hungry, I'm gonna be thirsty in an hour. Make sure you get water, make sure you get food, then you can go into a raid safely. Now, this game is extremely in depth, but one of the things that you're gonna want to learn pretty quickly, and that I've been learning pretty quickly, are my traders. These are the people that you get your quests from, your daily tasks from, your weekly tasks from, and basically you're gonna be at them a lot. And each trader does something different, sells something different, and give you more money for some of your items. What I did when learning the game is I would go to Prepper, I would just see what he's offering, see what he has, I would click on some items, see what they cost, and I would go to sell, and then I would just see how much he takes each item for. So this gun is 71k. He'll take a brand new CMS kit for 18,000 rubles. He'll take this grizzly for 1607, and then I'll go, okay, then I'll go over, I'll go to therapist, I'll go to sell, and I'll compare it. So obviously if I sell my meds to her, I'll get more money for it. If I sell these meds to her, I get a lot more money for it, but I can't sell my weapons to her. So it's like, okay, I can sell my meds to her, I can sell food to her, I can sell these weird items like a hose to her. And I basically did this for every single person. I go to fence, I'm like, okay, this guy is terrible with pricing. You can accept everything, but my God, his prices are absolute dope. And again, I did this with literally everyone, and I just tried to understand what they take, what they sell for, what I can buy from them. And one good thing to know is that you can level up these traders as well, and it's super simple to understand what you need to level up. So right here, I am level 2 on Prepper, and you can see that because up here, you can see what I've done, what I've spent, what my karma is, and you can see that by just looking up here on his name. There's a little 2 right there, or you go up here, it says current attitude 2, I'm level 16, I have a trader reputation of 0.31, and I have 3.3 mils spent. Now for me, I understood that I thought I had to spend this amount of money right here. You don't. You could sell stuff to him or buy stuff, and both of those are going to count towards that goal. And now to understand what you need for your next loyalty level, you go to the bar right under it, which says next loyalty level, and this says I need to be player level 26. Level 26 is red, which means I don't have it yet, and I have to be 0.35 reputation for Prepper, and obviously I'm only at 0.31, so it is red. And if I go over to my right, it says 1.5 mil spent, and it's blue, so it's already done. So my next goal is going to be to get to level 26 and get to 0.35 reputation for Prepper. And it's super simple to understand how to upgrade each person, so I'll show one more example. I'll go to mechanic. As you see, I'm still level 1, so to get to level 2, I go to this next loyalty level, and I have to be level 20, which is red, so that's the only thing I need because the other 2 are blue. blue, I have 0.15, and I have spent more than 750k or sold more than 750k worth of stuff to him. So that's a super simple thing on the traders. And again, that's going to take a lot of time to get used to, but again, it's very confusing. Just click stuff, read stuff. It's again literally like studying for your SATs, but in a video game. Now in this video, I'm not going to teach you how to build guns, how to move with meta builds, how to move with meta movement, because I don't even know that yet. Okay, I'm teaching you how I learned as much as I learned in this guide, because all the information that I've taken in is what you're going to take in probably your first 100 to 200 hours in this game. That's why I'm going to show you guys right now the best kit that I use as a new player in this game. So when I started the game, again, you're broke, you don't have many options. The one kit that I would use is I would go to character, is I would go to trading, I would go to prepper, and he is basically my best friend. I had this gun right here. This is an SKS. It's 21k. I would go here, I would buy this, and then I would go down in his category. Obviously, I have more things because I'm a higher level, but again, you'll have these as well. I went down here, I bought this headset for around 17k, and then I would go all the way over to Ragman, and I would buy this helmet. I don't know why, but I just did. I thought it looked good. Someone told me to buy it one time on stream, so I bought it. Then I would also get this pack of soft armor. If you double click on it, it's going to give you an armor class, and it's only armor class 2, but again, something is better than nothing, especially earlier in the wipe. Again, if you're in later wipe when people already have a shit ton of stuff, I would usually just bring in my SKS and some headphones, because the bullets that people have later in the wipe, you might as well not bring anything, because you're just going to get one type no matter what. Also, one thing that I was told to do is when you're going into raids, go to Ragman and buy something to like put over your face, because it's much better to have like a gray or like a black something over your face, so your skin isn't shining in the sunlight and people can see your head much easier. Well, this isn't really something that can protect you, but it's something that I think could help you not get headshot like maybe a couple times. Now that you have your kit ready, basically what I would do to understand what ammo I'm even putting in this gun is I would either right click it, I would go to linked search, basically entails stuff that is linked to this weapon, so it could be scopes, attachments, ammos, magazines. I click linked search, and right here it says weapon parts or ammo. I click on ammo, and I basically looked for the cheapest ammo, which is HP. I can buy PS because I'm a little bit higher level, but basically click link search, go to ammo, see what you can buy. You also might already have stuff in your stash. I don't know what additions people have. Just put whatever ammo you have in the gun, and then I would bring some extra ammo in my pockets. I never really brought a rig or a backpack because in my head I'm like, okay, I can kill a scav, I can get a rig, and I can probably get a bag off of them, so I never really brought one. If you want to bring a bag and a rig, again, just go to Ragman and he can give some pretty good deals on stuff. Again, I have him level 1, so everything I have you'll have. He has a bag you can buy for 12k, which is not bad at all. It's super cheap. Another bag you can buy for 25k. He has a rig you can buy for 18k. I never bought that stuff because I'm like, okay, I'll just kill a scav, kind of rob him and see what he has. This gun you'll top load, so there's no need for a mag. So when you shoot a bullet, you just make sure your bullets are in your pockets so you can reload them, because you can only reload with the bullets in your rig or your pockets. And this is the best beginner kit that I had, just because I was broke. I had nothing going for me. I would lose kits every raid, and this is what gets me through a big majority of my beginning of my time. One thing that I was also told to do with this weapon is if you double click this weapon, this menu is going to pop up, and right down here are all the attachments that are on this weapon. So this right here, if I double click this is an SKS rear sight. What I would do is I would take this off. This helps you see the front sight a little bit better, so I would recommend you guys do that. So when you use this weapon, take off that rear sight and then go after it. Now you're probably wondering, why don't you have any heals? What are you doing? I have stuff in my butt, and that's what I would do. I would just keep a grizzly in my butt, CMS kit in my butt, or something like that, something to help blacked out limbs. And a grizzly can literally do everything. It can remove fractures, concussions, radiation, heavy bleeds, light bleeds. It can do it all. So basically, I never needed heals. But again, if you don't have a grizzly, put on a little bit of a rig like from Ragman, and then do what I said. Get a Salua, an Alec, maybe an S mark to stop those heavy bleeds. Again, double click it to read what it does. And that's how you learn. Just double click stuff, read it, get information, and then go into your raid. And right here, we're going to do a very quick factory raid just to show you guys this kit. I can't promise I'll get a kill, but I'm going to show you guys what this kit kind of looks like in action. Okay, so we're in a factory raid, and as you see, this is what my scope looks like. You can see it really well. I'm probably going to get shit on immediately in this raid, but let's just show you guys what I can really do. Oh, got him. I'm nervous. I'm nervous. The camera's on. I'm nervous. And as you see, this gun is a top loader. Right there, I did kill a scav with this gun. I didn't really kill a player yet, but that's okay. I don't know if we will kill a player. I'm gonna run down here, use my free look, using my middle mouse button, which is really good for when I'm running around corners, which I've learned. So I'm running down the hallway, free look to the right, free look to the left. One thing that I've learned to do in raid especially is when I'm trying to peek a corner, I'm gonna lean, then I'm gonna do little circles and just to try to peek that corner because I can get back in quickly. If I just go left and right, there is inertia in this game, so it's gonna go very slowly. But if I do little tight circles, I can actually peek it fairly safely. Now, I did get shot there, and basically, as you see on my top left, I'm a little red. I'm just going to use my grizzly right there. Again, if you have any other heals, just pop those real quick. Wait, is he dead? What is what is happening there? Did I kill? I guess I killed. Okay. What is happening there? That is chaos. Again, I'll be honest. I was going to show off this kit. I didn't think I'd survive for more than 30 seconds. This was a level 30 TTV player. Wow. With a little Mosin on. Okay. Respect. He had a pistol on. He had a nice little beanie on. It looks pretty cool. Again, he also didn't have a rig or a bag, so that must tell you something, right? And he had LPS, which is for his weapon. The glasses on for fashion. As you see, he also had a balaclava on his face just to try to conceal his face a little bit better. Now my goal is to make it to evac, and in factory, if you don't know, there's basically only one evac if you don't have a key. Now I have to make my way to gate 3, which is the only evac if you don't have a key on factory. And I know right here is gate 3 because there's like a weird upstairs area right next to it. So I'm going to go down the stairs, peek it slowly, see what we can do here. Now I'm going to make a book for it, use my free look. I like to shoot that always. I don't know, just in case someone's there, I can get a pretty good clip, I guess. Then I go right back here and I leave out of the raid with my beautiful kit that we kitted up for, which is phenomenal. And right there was a little factory raid. We killed an actual player, a TTV, with a headshot, which is pretty cool. But right there is my basic noob guide made by a noob. If you guys have any other comments or you're an experienced player, drop tips down below. Again, the more information we can get out in the comments, the more people can read them and kind of understand more about the game. So if I'm wrong on something, if I'm right about something, if you have any extra tips, drop them down in the comments. Drop on my stream on twitch.tv/VascoB7. Come on through, help the boy learn the game, and let's get active together. And again, if you did enjoy the video, leave a like, subscribe, and don't forget to follow me on Twitch. I do stream almost every day. And with that being said, I'll see you next one.